That's what I love about this podcast is it gives us a platform to continue to share our life in an open manner. I had a question. I did a few interviews recently where someone asked, is there something that your fans would be surprised to know about you? And I go, at this point, no. We have shared every step of the way. And now that we are on a rhythm of putting out 2 to 3 podcasts a week, moving forward, people who watch on YouTube or listen to this on iTunes or Facebook is going to know everything because we share everything.
Yeah.
But as we start having bigger moments in our life, because think about our engagement. We just celebrated that 2 years ago.
I know.
And we're engaged for 2 years. We weren't really podcasting at this capacity. So it wasn't really explained.
Right.
Think of all of with me working with Brooke and going to find or picking up your ring and having your dad come. We actually can maybe share that story today. But
yes.
I love that when we first get pregnant, when we have a kid, when we move, when we buy our first house, think of all the education and experience and adventure that's going to bring and what riveting conversation it's going to have. And it's going to allow people to go, oh, I'm going to go buy my first house. Thanks for letting us know those things.
Yeah.
Because I like hearing information from the people that I have fallen in love with. When Joe Rogan wants to talk about something that I'm interested in, because he's built so much trust with me for me being a loyal listener for 2 years, his opinion matters. And I know if he's wrong, he'll go back and say, hey, I was wrong about this 2 weeks ago. So I trust what he's saying. And I feel like as we grow, we can do that. When it comes to ring shopping, when it comes to buying a house, like we don't know yet. We don't know what it's like to buy a house.
Yeah.
But we're going to learn stuff.
Yeah,
and we'll get to share it, or we're getting pregnant.
Everything in life is experience, and as you go through it, that's why especially online communities are so big this day and age, because people get to share their stories. Oh, you're a new mom. Well, what are you doing about this? What are you feeding them here? I want to feed them organic. Whatever it is, they can all come together and share their experiences, because life experience is probably the most valuable thing.
Yeah, you can bring your true experience of life to A and B options. Why you should eat organic, why it doesn't matter. And you go, well, I kind of am leaning towards organic, but your life experience allows you to take different perspectives and then find a middle ground or pick one. So I like that this is an open platform to do so. But yeah, we should share that story. I never thought about that. I don't think we've ever shared.
No, do you want to hop into it before we get
let's hop into it.
Stories?
Welcome everyone to the Freddie and Alyssa Show. If you are new, please subscribe. It's the cool thing. Everyone's subscribing these days. Everyone's subscribing these days.
Ask your friends. Everyone's subscribing.
Yeah, ask your. If you subscribe to the Freddie and Alyssa Show, who? Never mind. But yeah, like, comment, all that fun YouTube stuff. We've been putting out videos for a couple years now. And so you can do some friendly stalking of our page. We have a merch store now that we launched a couple months ago. We've got some t-shirts. We've got some fun cloth masks with some designs. So you don't just feel blah going outside. It seems like masks are going to be part of our life for a while now. So we wanted to have some fun designs. We got some more fun ones coming, especially for the males. I got us hooked up. We got a couple extras coming here in the next week or so. We're also bookable on Cameo. Listen, I've been having a great time doing some shout outs on Cameo for birthdays, and we just love being able to connect and make some fun videos. So you can go to cameo.com/FMSmith319 and you can book us on Cameo. And then one more thing, I want to give a shout out to, and I'll stop smacking my lips, I promise. I'm aware of it, but the coffee is almost warm.
You always say that. I never can hear it.
Maybe because of my headphones I can hear it. But I want to give a shout out to 2 of our producers, Julie Robinson, welcome to the team, and Cool Car JXI. Cool Car JXI, welcome to the producing team. For those of you who are new to the channel, we opened up our podcast to producers about a couple months ago now. And it's a $10 monthly contribution, and we're using that money to grow our channel. Our subscribers, we have had one heck of a month. We have gone up about 4,000 to 5,000 subscribers. We're at 22,000 as we're shooting this podcast. Our goal is 100,000, and then, of course, above. But we're 22% away to our very first goal. And your monthly contributions or your subscription, any kind of participation, even your viewership, it's all helping us grow this channel and doing what we love. And we're able to bring you value, entertainment, inspiration, education. So thank you. You can learn more about becoming a producer with the link in the description box below. And we do a lot of extra content in there, from a little series we call Before the Show. We go live. We do a lot of extra stuff because we know you're contributing your hard-earned cash money, and we want to give you a little something extra. So you can check all that out. But we've been engaged for 2 years, babe.
Yeah, we have.
2 very quick years.
So fast. And a lot of people commented going, holy cow, it's been 2 years already.
Yeah.
You know, we're all feeling it. Like, time is flying.
What, on your end, let's start with yours. What was your experience with the whole thing? Because how did we start? You decided, hey, we should pick out a ring together.
Yeah, because I mean, for many years, we definitely were talking about it, about getting engaged. I mean, I think pretty early on, we always knew that it was something we wanted to. I'm just laughing because Freddie is.
You know, I tried to secretly wipe my sweat off of my head, and you couldn't hold it together.
Sorry. No, but so for many years, we always knew that we wanted to take that next step. And a lot of things happen in life that kind of, you know, got in the way with the car accident and moving and the money being stolen. There are just a lot of things that were like, this just isn't the time to be doing this. We wanted everything in our life to, you know, be happy and positive so we could really relish in the moment and have our family be together. And so we had started talking about it, and we talked about me being a part of picking out the ring because, yeah, I'm type A. I'm sorry. I am very specific. Obviously, I love fashion. I was like, I want to be a part of it. I'm going to wear this forever. And you're totally down. So we went to Happy Jewelers in Fullerton, and that was, what, June of 2018? May of 2018?
I think so.
Started looking, learning a lot, and then you surprised me, and you surprised me not only with the engagement in July of 2018, but you surprised me with flying out my family, surprising me to be there, and my friends, and this huge place we got to stay at for the night. I mean, seriously, the best day ever.
Well, I'm not always the romantic type, so I felt I needed to really use my creativity and do something big so that I could kind of hold it over your head for other things for a couple years, because Valentine's Day will come around and I'm like, here's roses and chocolate and a sweet note, and I didn't have to do anything extravagant because I just go, you know.
It really lasted for a while because, I mean, you really outdid yourself. But that's what makes everything so special is I know that when you are planning these different surprises, it's a special thing, and you know, really put a lot of thought into it.
And what you said, too, I think is really important, that we want, and the same thing's happening with the wedding, is I wanted to be happy in life with less stress, to enjoy the moment, not use the moment as a temporary distraction or relief to forget how hard life is or challenging at the moment. I wanted to celebrate and not feel guilty 3 days after it was all over and have to go, oh, that was great, but now we're back to this like stuff. Right. And the same thing with the wedding is, you know, we've had a couple, you know, tough years when it comes to, we had a lot of stuff that we inflicted and that we happened to us in 14, 15, 16. But then we also lost a lot of family members. We, what happened the year before? I remember we were happy we didn't do it.
Well, it's really crazy because, and I've gotten a lot of questions too about, well, when are you getting married? Why aren't you guys married yet? And, you know, hey, everyone does it at their own, on their own journey. You know, timing is everything. But in the very beginning, right after we got engaged, we were going to, get married in Mexico. And it was Cinco de Mayo, and we wanted to get married 2019. And a really big reason for me of wanting to get married so quickly is I wanted my grandpa to be there so bad, you know, and we were trying to work the details out, and we were looking, because he lived more in Orlando, and we were looking, remember Playa del Carmen, which would just be like a couple hour plane flight for him to take. Like, we were kind of looking at everything. We looked at Florida too. What was that? What was the town called? St. Augustine. St. Augustine. We were looking at this place called the Treasury. So beautiful. An old bank that was remade into a... Yeah, so we were looking at all the... That was originally what we wanted to do, because we wanted your family to be able to drive to Florida, and we wanted, you know, my family to be able to get there. And unfortunately, what's really crazy is my grandpa, he had passed. And this was before we even decided not to do it. And we had a couple people in our family pass, and there are just so many different things. So for whatever reason, before obviously we lost a couple people, we had decided to not. That's what it was. I was confused. I was looking backwards, where your grandpa passed in December, and so the following May we were going to initially do it. Yeah. So, but your grandpa passed in December, my uncle passed in February, my grandma passed in April. And it would have just been, that May would have not been a happy time for family to get together. And we looked back at that going, wow, things really do work in
No one's going to go to
ways.
Mexico or even Florida. Like, everyone was in serious grieving mode and still are. You know, it was a really, really tough time just to lose 3 people that close to us all within a 4-month period.
And then your uncle and my grandfather had
their funeral on the same day.
Same day. Like, what?
So we had to go, we went separate to that. And it just so happened I had a random 2 weeks off from days that February of 2019, right during all of it. And I did miss the Emmys because that was during my grandma's funeral that weekend. I remember that. But I remember looking back going, it wouldn't have worked in May. And then we were saying we're doing it May of this year, which wouldn't have worked either. So it actually worked in the sense of us not moving forward with it. So now we're just taking it a day at a time. But I just wish I had more information to share with people, but we really just don't know.
I know. We really are hoping and praying that we can do it next year, or sometime in the spring of next year would be amazing. And we're kind of looking at a few places and have some ideas, but it's going to all depend on kind of what happens in the world. There's so much going on right now that to try and plan a wedding and just kind of hope with our fingers crossed that things are better, back to normal. I know that's a while away, but, you know, just looking at it all. And I think, too, we're definitely veering more towards something very small and intimate because of what's going on in the world. Because the very first wedding we were going to have, we wanted a huge wedding, and we were just going to, like, you know, celebrate and invite everyone, but with current circumstances, we're not able to do it. So it's one of those situations where you have to look at it and go, you know, we want to get married. Like, next May is going to be our 10 years being together. And I think that was something really special to us, too, to get married on the decade of being together. Most people don't do that. You know, most people are together a lot.
They get married sooner.
Yeah. So I think that's really special. And, you know, even if it's just something small for us and our family, like, it's all that really matters. Celebrating our love.
Well, there's just like huge moments coming up. This whole entire year has been huge moments and shifts and chapter changes. And, you know, especially when we finally go to Florida and, you know, planning a move cross country and uprooting after almost 15 years and then planning a wedding and all of that together is just a lot. So it's better just to take a day at a time and really wait for those windows of opportunity and not rush it and go back to the whole engagement thing where when the time's right, let's do it. Let's not force the right time. So we're looking at it that way. But we're good, though. I enjoy it. I think we've learned a lot about each other. And I also think, too, you know, at the end of the day, you know, some people say, hey, it's better to get to know each other when you know, and you get married and you do it early. But then if it doesn't work out in 3 years, then you have to go through all of that. For us being together for 10 years and living together for 10 years, we really know.
We really know each other.
We're not just, we just didn't just meet and fall in love. And after 4 months, I go, Mom and Dad, I met the girl of my dreams. We've been together for 4 months. We're getting married. We're having kids. Have you met her parents? No. Do you know what her future plans are? No, but I am just in love. And then sometimes that works and a lot of the times it doesn't. So I love that we know each other.
Very well.
10 years living together, and we, you know, it's going to be a really good decision. So I'm glad that we've, I guess, waited, because I'm also interested in the people we are and the love we have getting married now, just how different the moment of getting married will feel.
Yeah.
Because in 2012, we were in love, but it was this young love that didn't have much experience together, didn't go through adversity together,
layers,
didn't
colors.
go through all the ups and downs. It was kind of like, I love you.
Yeah.
And it would have felt kind of flat.
Yeah.
I feel now it's going to be a real moment of like,
this is what's up. This is real, baby.
I'm really excited to be with you as a partner.
Yeah.
More than just, I love this beautiful girl that I'm dating and we're having fun.
Right.
Now it's like I really am marrying you. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So,
special. It means a lot more. Just our entire narrative and who we are as people too.
Yeah.
Think about how much we've grown.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really special. I'm very excited.
Yeah. No, I am.
Do you think you'll cry when I walk down that aisle?
I mean, I don't know.
Come on, babe.
Probably, right?
I know I'm going to be a mess because I'm the most sentimental, crazy person in the world.
I'm going to keep it light. I'm going to do something goofy.
I hope you do.
I'll keep my fly down or something.
Please don't do that. Are we going to give each other notes the morning of? Because we have to talk about this. You've been someone who has said that you don't really want us to sleep in separate rooms the night before. Because you don't want to be without me.
Yeah. We'll wake up and not look at each other.
But I'm really, like, superstitious. So we're going to have to figure that one out.
It just can't make sense.
It can't make sense because I think it's so sweet.
Yeah.
No, it does, because it's the last night of not being together, and then you send me a love note that I get to read while I'm getting dressed.
A lot of these traditions are for traditional marriage. The idea of marriage back in the day of getting together, falling in love, living separately, not having sex before marriage.
Yeah.
When you get married, it's your last day apart. You're about to get married, have sex for the first time, and move in together. That actually is really special if you think about it.
Of course.
So the people who can pull that off, congrats, because that sounds awesome. But 95% of people don't do it that way. So for us, the actual idea of marriage doesn't change anything other than the title,
but I'm a hopeless
taxes,
romantic,
and the actual moment, which is going to be very sweet and special.
Of course.
But the actual other part of it, of bringing your lives together, moving in together, which is also kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a good idea to live with someone, know someone, but I guess everyone's journey is different.
Well, what's that saying? Happy wife, happy life? So we'll do everything I want.
Some pushover said that. It's happy husband, happy life.
Oh, no. Hates that. I mean, of course I want you to be happy. Happy hubby. I can't.
I don't know. The happy wife, happy life has a rhyme to it, too.
It does.
That's why it sticks. Yeah, I think that's a typical, and it works really well, and it's the American what the story they share. Like every sitcom, every movie is this dopey guy who just has the biggest heart, loves his friends, still enjoys fart jokes, and like the wife's this powerful woman that goes, "Stop playing your video games and go cook," and he's the guy's like, "Hey, happy wife, happy life."
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking way too far into it. It's just a simple, like, keep the wife happy.
One day just goes, happy wife, happy life. And we're going down this deep
it's a huge saying, happy life, happy wife, or happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
But that's just how it,
just saying, keep your babe happy.
Or it's so crazy, too, the idea that certain females will play the sex card, and
You're
then
not getting sex tonight if you don't do this.
And then the guy's just like, "What? What do you mean? How?" It's like, yo, like, relax. It'll be tomorrow, or don't play that card because, like, what is that?
That's so weird.
Does anyone do that? I mean, we're not asking actually. We don't want to get into that. We keep that stuff.
That's the After Dark special we're yet to do.
Yeah.
So funny. Can you guys tell the coffee's creeping in?
Exactly.
We veered off. We were going to talk about these nice moments from our engagement.
Oh, I know.
Happy wife, happy life. Therapy. Let's talk some therapy.
Let's talk some online therapy with BetterHelp, H-E-L-P, BetterHelp.com. Times are crazy. I think people go through different stages in life, and sometimes you can call a friend. Sometimes you can talk to your significant other and vent to them. But, we've really been expanding the topic of mental health, and I really think it's important that if you're feeling unhappy, if you're feeling depressed or anxious, it's really nice to seek professional help. And I think continuing to share that it's okay to go talk to a therapist. And if you want to do it in more of a discreet way, if you want to do it in a more convenient way, BetterHelp.com is awesome. As soon as I heard you could do it virtually through the phone or through a video chat, I was in. You don't have to go to the waiting room. You don't have to do any of that. And it takes out all the complication too. It's much cheaper to do it online. They have licensed therapists. You can connect with them within 24 hours in most cases. It's worldwide. So if you want to talk to somebody, if you're feeling a little down or you just kind of want to give it a try, go to betterhelp.com/FA and you'll receive 10% off.
Yes.
10% off. So you can give it a try. and get yourself some help, or just talk your ideas out. Sometimes it's good just to talk. So thank you, BetterHelp.com, for being a supporter of our show. We really appreciate you. And now back to the show. Well, no, you just have to continue to explore each other. And I think the biggest, no, not that anyone asked, but the biggest piece of advice is just you have to respect the other person, and you have to communicate, and you have to make an equal amount of sacrifice of what the other person needs and what's worth it and what's worth standing firm on, what's worth just going, who cares? Like, sure.
Yeah.
And anytime we ever bicker, I actually think someone did ask that question recently, and I wrote it down, but I just forget. Someone asked if we ever fight or how that goes. And we'll only bicker, but then we quickly apologize and move on. Like, it never lingers. We never. I used to when I was a kid. I would fight, and there'd be those lingering, sick feelings in your chest and stomach for 7 hours while you were on the couch or trying to keep busy, and then your girlfriend or boyfriend would leave the apartment, and they'd feel like crap, you'd feel like crap, and then you end up saying, "I'm sorry."
Well, I guess my whole point of view on that, and I've always been this way, is, and maybe this is like the Leo in me, but I hate confrontation. And so it's like, let's just nip it in the bud. Let's sit, let's talk it out, and figure out how we can not feel these disgusting feelings. You know, like when you're upset and you're heartbroken and like you just got in an argument, it's like, take your time, of course, cool off, but then like talk it out and figure it out. Never go to bed mad at each other. Like, we never, ever have done that. You know what I'm saying? I know for me too, when I was younger, of course, you have to blow out crazy fights, and you know, maybe we learned from that too. But we also get along really well because we were friends first.
I think sometimes people also get consumed in their routine.
Sure.
And sometimes just the fighting and you know, in general, allows people to let out frustration. But for us, I instantly realized that the world is throwing rocks at us. The world itself, challenges in life, natural things that happen, a death in the family, a loss of a job, like life is going to throw rocks at us. Why would we throw rocks at each other?
Yeah.
We can't inflict pain. We're getting hit in the face with rocks every day from the outside world. We shouldn't do that in there. So if you reposition your perspective that your home, these are the people who love you the most.
Yeah.
So protect your family, respect your family, because it's you against the world. And that's the one thing too, is you and I just so happen to find a path that we love working on projects together. So our visions, you know, together. I think people who have different visions, maybe if there's something you can find that you both love, and not like dragging your husband or wife to pottery class or something, unless it's something that you both want to do. Like nothing like, what's the word? Just nothing like trivial in the sense of maybe we should go paint for a night. That's all cool. Or do an escape room. That's fun. Right. I mean, is there something you two can do together? Like start a little charity, or start a t-shirt line, or just
that's why people have
do a
kids,
book club, or
they want to do something together and raise a kid together. But I think the interesting part with us is that we literally live the same life. Like everything we do, every project we do, for the most part, I mean, we do it together. Our podcast we do together. Even when it comes to shooting photos, you're the one who takes the photos for me. You do the editing on your own. I do my writing on my own. Like, we do so many things together, but a lot of people have different careers, different lives. Most people. So
that's why I don't ever know how to talk on relationships, because I don't remember what it was like, or even if it ever was, what it's like being with somebody where you have to, with different lives, come together and have commonality and care about each other's other lives and make sure you still have the same goals, you know, as a whole, but with two different vehicles. So that's something I can't really speak on, because I don't know how they.
But I can also like kind of remember back in the day, and I can only imagine now what it's like for people who are starting to date. Maybe they're looking to take that next step of moving in together, but they have completely different lives, completely different friend groups, and they have to mesh their life together, which, you know, like ultimately we did, even though we had like the same kind of friend groups, but we did have different lives. And there were certain things like we stopped doing because we're like, oh, well, we're in a couple now. I'm not going to go hang out with this person who I'd been on a date with, or whatever it was. But I just know that initial like coming together of your lives, it's be like a little difficult.
It's a big moment.
It's a huge moment.
There's a lot more probably to talk about. There's a lot more working parts.
And sacrifice and being selfless and putting your partner first, because that's important.
Yeah.
So,
because even with that whole scenario of like a couple on their phones at dinner or not talking, with you and I, there's just always something to talk about because we're like, hey, what's next? Here's this new video, you know? Because there is this video that it's interesting because I'll have questions of, well, what's next for you? Or if we're talking to our families or I was even texting with, and when I was saying that we're going to be moving to Florida, she's like, well, what are you two going to do for work? And I was like, well, we're going to do the podcast full time, creating content and all of that stuff. And I think on the surface level, people get it.
Yeah.
They go, okay, but not really the intricate workings of it.
Right.
So I really wanted to make a video where I break down essentially how influencers, bloggers, YouTubers, content creators, whatever you want to call that umbrella.
Yeah.
Content creator?
Sure.
It's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to title it influencer blogger because that's probably more Googled than content creator.
Yeah.
But even when you were on a live with your friend, remember from back home, the one you hopped onto a friend and you commented and he's like, who's your friend with the blue check mark? And she goes, oh, she has a blue check mark because she's she
didn't know how to explain. She's like podcasting, but like content, like.
And he goes, wait, what? And you just go, whatever his name was, you're like, I'm a content creator. He goes, what is that?
Yeah.
He goes, what do you mean?
Yeah.
So I want to make a video so that we can share with people who are curious because there's about 7 to 12 different income streams that come with it. And it just depends on which fits the brands. And it gives people an idea of when they go into it or if they pop fame. Hey, here's a great video so you can kind of have a blueprint of what to do with this attention.
Yeah.
And how to add value.
Yeah.
Because that's ultimately what it is. How do you add value to an audience just like a business adds a service or a product that brings value?
Yeah.
If you make the best soap, people are going to buy it.
Yep.
You satisfy your customer. If you make the best content, people are going to watch it. Advertisers pay.
Yep.
So it's an interesting thing, but those kind of videos we'll sit and talk about. We put our head on our pillow last night. We didn't get to bed till 3 a.m.
Oh my
because
gosh.
you decided to go, hey, maybe we should do this. I go,
30,
great.
30 minutes before we're trying to go to bed, and we're just brainstorming in the dark, going back and forth.
Yeah.
And that just, when inspiration hits.
You have to do it, and I've been done fighting it because then I'll just lay in bed and think about it. So it's like we might as well get it on paper or really flush it out.
Yeah.
And I have to exhaust my creative portion of my brain because I feel you can only be so creative throughout the day. There's like a juice.
Yeah.
And you can, once it's dry, I can finally relax. So I try to be creative all day, and then around 8, 9, 10 o'clock, my juice, and editing, like the podcast isn't as creative because it's pretty mundane. You just
That's
chop
like
it
me
up.
editing photos or looking over.
But being creative, once I drain that, I'm then able to relax because I'm not missing out on anything because I cannot sit and even fathom trying to create a new ad or doing. I go, I'm done.
Yep.
Yesterday, for some reason, I didn't do much creative stuff. We did more posting the video and all that. It wasn't very creative. And so we had some left in the tank, but yeah, I just want to make, and even with us, you know, as we're continuing to bang on doors and get this reality show and our ensemble comedy script into people's hands, it's not an ego thing. I know it will be a successful show, and I know it will be a successful movie, and it's not that it won't be. It's we have to convince people to bet on us.
Yeah.
That's all this is. Because if you look at our YouTube and you look at the videos we make, people watch it and they like it.
Well, and it's crazy too because you always hear of people saying, oh yeah, you know, that project, that movie, that took 5-10 years to get made. This has been a long time coming. And for the first time, we're really seeing just how slow things go just because of the individuals that you might be working with. Like we even had a publisher, I think it was a publisher, an agent or something, who had interest of the pivot principle, but then she's like, yeah, I'm going to look at all this as soon as possible. 2 months later, I followed up, hey, did you read this yet? Oh, not yet. And now it's been like
2 years.
2
It's
years.
been forgotten.
Yeah, forgotten.
Well, I mean, we knew after a couple weeks.
Of course, but I'm just saying, like, people will say they're going to do something and then they don't, or you have to follow up and someone forgets. And hey, I get it. There have been times that we just get so crazed with different projects that are priority. You know, it's something that's either getting us paid or it just matters a little bit more, that there'll be other things that come through that you completely forget to do or work on or write back, you know, whatever it is.
Depends on what it is.
Yeah.
When you're pitching, when you watch movies and you go, this wasn't that funny, and you also spent $25 million on it. This can be made for $500,000 to $1 million if you want to do it like production wise.
Yeah.
Where it's bloated, you got 1 million people on set. You know, you don't need it. But fine. If you have the money, it's $1 million, $2 million, $3 million if you want to get a big star, $5 million, whatever you want. But I just know that this would be a good film.
Of course.
And people have to scout the talent. And that's what we're realizing, is that one of us are wrong. So everyone who's reading the script or reality show and going, oh, I pass, in 3 years, people are going to, either we were wrong or they were wrong. And I believe they are, because I believe in these two projects, or we wouldn't have been pushing them.
But also, too, you have to look at the different people responding and whether they're good fits. Like, we heard back from one person who they deal with international shopping and selling, and they're like, internationally, we don't think this is a good fit. Then for Unplugged, the script, we had a lot of people who had interest. Some of them read it. They said, this is really great, just not a good fit. Maybe their production company was more family friendly and they were looking for, you know, something.
Absolutely.
There are always different situations.
So it's that too.
They're not saying this sucks, we don't like it. It's just good. Is it a good fit? Is it good timing?
Well, either people are really polite or it's feeding into what I'm saying. We have not had one person on either, and we've had probably 15 different interactions with high-level people.
Yeah.
No one said it was bad.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. It wasn't like, hey, you need to read this book, or you need to restructure like this. Like it's all been positive, just doesn't fit. We have people who pitch us all the time to be on our podcast. Mm-hmm. And there's times that I read and go, this is a great person.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be interesting to our audience. And it didn't as Freddie. I don't really want to ask you questions.
Nothing personal. It just didn't grab us.
That's the best thing. Yeah. So I understand that part as well. It's just a hustle where my long rant to all this is the frustration isn't the yes and no. The frustration is, what the hell is taking so long? When you email, you're looking for an idea, you either do it or you don't. And how it does take 5 to 10 years to get funding, even if you're A-list celebrities like Ryan Reynolds. It took him 10 years to get Deadpool done. He's Ryan Reynolds. So I'm not on my high horse or have an ego about any of that stuff. I get it. But my whole point is that I want to make more money so that I can just go down, grab out $250,000 out of a bank account and say, let's shoot this film. If we had $250 cash drop right here on the table right now, we would have Unplugged. Well, maybe because of the pandemic, no. But if that wasn't there, even with it, we would have the script, everyone attached, the locations, shoot it, edit it, and be all done in 100 days.
Yeah, but that's also how we work. We're really itching to get to that next level of life.
I just want to do it.
And we have been for a while, but we are.
It's so frustrating that the only thing is the financial.
I know.
It would cost us about, realistically, even our reality show, 8 episodes. Yeah, I want it because of the big network. I want the extra exposure. If we had $5,000, 10 ideally with advertising for each of our episodes, $80,000, I know that we could run the right advertising, shoot it correctly, do the editing, do all of it for $80,000, put all 8 episodes on YouTube.
Disposable $80,000, which it didn't matter what was going to happen to it.
But I believe we'd make it back. But it's a scary investment to make when you're basing it off of our own 2 hands, that we're doing all the work. But I know we could get 1 million views per ep because of the advertising.
Yeah. It's
very simple. It's just the lack of capital that I'm not, we need to buy a house first and get married before we gamble $80,000 on something. Because if you mess up on that, we'll come on here and say, you know what? It was a good lesson. We learned a lot.
We'll get married in 2030.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing, is we're seeking money. So that's like a lot of the advice that I give with people is I will not write another script until this is sold. Yeah. Because we have the script. It's not the script. It's how do you sell? How do you get it in front of the right person at the right time? Me and Nate wrote so many scripts. We have great scripts.
But that helped you to become a better writer and to understand and learn to be able to write Unplugged. But I get what you're saying.
We have all those in the can. So once Unplugged goes, someone goes, hey, what do you got? We're like, we got Squatters, we got Gamble Estate.
They have stuff on the shelf, You You just never know. I think what we're going through right now is we've gotten to the point where we'll share a little bit of what the project's about. Now there's a lot of interest. People want to see the materials. But now that the materials are in their hands, we have to wait until they have time to absorb it. And since we're new on that part of the industry, it's like, okay, 1 week follow-up, here we are. And it's like with you and I, if there's something we're interested in, I'm reading it that day.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone has 15 minutes to go through. If I had a whole team I was working with, I'd be like, okay, I love this. I know you guys are busy, but check this out in the next week.
It's just a combination of a lot of things.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just my lack of patience with... I would rather somebody email me back and go, this is the biggest piece of crap I've ever seen. Absolutely not.
Right.
I go, great. Well, Gary over at Anchor Films doesn't like it. Next. I can take that all day.
Yeah.
It's we're going to look at it. Hey, this is really good. I'm going to send it around to my team. Hey, this is awesome. Hey, let's schedule a call. And then you're just like, okay, great. I mean, it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's either do this or not.
Yeah.
So, but you can't speak like that.
No.
We're very polite and we understand that it's a give and take.
None of you are listening to this.
I hope you are. Email us back.
Email us back, baby.
So, but they will. They just get back to us.
I know.
It just takes
time.
It's just like 2 weeks for this and then 5 weeks for this. And then before you know it, we're 48 years old and can't play 10-year reunion kids anymore.
Patience is a virtue, my dear.
Yeah, but that's just how it is. But I would have it no other way.
I know.
If it was easy, everyone would do it, and that is why I just love pushing through. And we understand the format now. Mm-hmm. Having the pitch decks, knowing how to write, knowing how to do it.
Of course.
That was my biggest problem when I was younger. Me and Nate had great scripts, but we spent no time on selling.
Well, even that was the problem with Addicts Anonymous. You guys put together this great web series that you wrote, raised $53,000 through crowdfunding, shot a great show, but then there was no marketing plan. No one knew how to sell it. Everyone just assumed, oh yeah, we'll put this online and it'll go viral. 2,000 views later.
Yeah, you
gotta have some sort of plan. No one knew back then, though.
No.
Because even going viral was like a little different back then. What year was that?
2013.
But then when we shot it, it was 2013?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, raised the money in April, shot it in June, edited it, and released it in December or something.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Remember we went to Tennessee for like a screening of it?
Yeah.
We had a huge event. We went to, what was it, Jack Daniel's Distillery?
Yep.
It was so much fun.
Oh, it was great. Great.
So much fun.
Big learning lesson there, too.
Should have put that money into ads.
I mean, hey, the whole cast had fun. We spent the ticket sales of the event. There was like 70 people who came.
Yeah.
So when it was all
cool.
said and done, I think the whole event, raised $20,000.
Wow.
But not understanding marketing, that was the $20,000 that should have been put into the advertising. But instead, we go, no, you know what? Let's fly out all 10 of the castmates. Let's put them all up in a hotel because everyone can be there. Let's go do all this stuff. And we ended up spending, when it was all said and done, I think we got an email, the person who helped us put the event on, they're like, there's $150 left. Do you want it or should we donate it to charity? And we go, donate it to charity. Sean Christian rented a bus when we were going from place to place. Let me tell you something. We didn't use the money correctly, but we threw one hell of an event.
I mean,
everyone who went there had it was the greatest time.
It was probably one of the best memories ever.
Yes. Everyone
had so much fun, and it was kind of the first time that you truly could meet people in person that we did it through Kickstarter. So anyone who donated, they were able, because most people who donated came. But it was the first time we were able to merge communities of, hey, I'm a fan of this. I love this. Let me come. And then you get to meet in person because the online world kind of just started. Social media, really. To the masses, yeah. Yes. The real underground stuff was the time to go when it comes to ads and everything. I was just going to ask you, back then, were ads, Facebook ads, a thing? I believe so. Huh. And they were cheap. When we first started running ads back 2016. Mm-hmm. Oh, I remember for that. $10,
you could get in front of thousands of people. But now it's become more competitive, so it's still for $10 you can get in front of maybe 800. Still a lot.
Yeah.
But it used to be so much more bang for your buck. But that just happens with everything. And that's what's happening right now with the text message service. Right now, people are enjoying it. Why? Because they probably only opt in to maybe 3 of their favorite celebrities.
Right.
Once it becomes a wider thing and people start opting into 20 of their celebrities and 20 celebrities are texting people 3 times a day, they're going to go, I'm done with all this. Yeah. Just like email was ruined, the text message service will eventually be ruined. And that's why with us, I never really text anything out. I like to, when it's someone's birthday, I love to wish them a happy birthday. I try to get in there and answer questions and really communicate. And I send out maybe 2 or 3 texts a month because I want it to be a special, cool moment. I don't want to bombard people because I want them to have a good experience with it. But I believe, well, I follow J-Lo on it and Gary Vee, and they don't text often. So people respect it.
Yeah, you kind of have to because it's
Yeah.
very personal. It's on your phone in your inbox.
And the time that you send it matters.
Yes.
I remember there was a time I woke up early and I noticed it was someone's birthday. I go, I'm going to text them. And I was like, oh, it's way too early.
There are even times when it's late. You're like, wait.
I like to do it around 11 to up to 4 o'clock in the afternoon,
Yeah.
you know, just to connect and everything. But if you're in the United States or Canada, text us 424-228-9508 and get in the loop with everything.
I need to memorize that number.
Yeah, I got it down pat now.
Got it down pat, baby.
So it's
yeah.
gonna be... Oh, by the way, we should have put this at the beginning, but this is supposed to be a Days of Our Lives recap.
Oops.
But we weren't on. I wasn't on this week.
That's right.
So I forgot to mention that.
Sorry. Coffee Fueled Pod with Fred and Alyssa.
Yeah.
We forget why we're here.
I wanted to say at the beginning where we usually do days recaps and on Fridays, but I wasn't on. And then we've got about 5 weeks left of recaps. I think I've got about 7 or 8 episodes left only to air.
And we have got a really cool days person coming up. That's all I'll say.
Oh, yeah. It's still in the finalizing phases.
I know, so I don't want to get everyone too excited, but I'm going to get you too excited.
Oh, yeah. If everything works out, it'll probably be the biggest podcast we do to date.
Yeah.
But that's all I'm going to say.
That's all we're going to say.
It might not even be a days person.
Right.
Or maybe it is.
Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't.
I don't know. We can't tell you. We got to wait. You got to wait and see. But if it all works out, maybe it'll be up in a couple weeks.
Just might be.
Just might be. But anywho, I could actually talk a lot longer, but
I know we got to go walk our little Sunman.
Days like this is so interesting that I wrote down some notes. I was like, I want to cover these things, and then one little
thing can spark
the whole conversation. We didn't get to anything we wanted to talk about.
We'll
do another one soon. We'll fill
yeah.
everybody in.
Yeah.
But,
I can't keep talking. So
we'll do
keep
that. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.